without taking more time, please turn your scriptures to 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. And please, if you can see what I'm sharing on the screen, do me a great favor by letting me know, please. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8, please. In 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8, we read what I've always said has become a mainstay of the truth in this ministry. And like I always add, not because we want to sound different, but because we want to stay true. Because once it comes to righteousness or truth, you can't have too much of it. You can have too much of liberty, you can have too much of hard work, you can have too much of wisdom, you can have too much of holiness, you can have too much of empathy or niceness, but you can never have too much what is right or true. Are we still together, people of God, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8, we read, "For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth." And I've told those people of God that there are 4 absolute words in this passage of the scripture. The word we, the word nothing, the word against, and the opposite of against, the word for, F-O-R. And when we amplify these 4 words, what the Spirit of God is saying through Apostle Paul sounds like this: for none of us, any of us, as well as every one of us, can do absolutely nothing against the truth. But everything we've done, everything we're doing right now, and everything we'll do throughout our existence will always be for the truth. I hope we got that, people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I've also told those people of God that everything valid in existence has a reason. And the reason why this scripture, for it to be valid, is because truth is the most powerful male entity, seed entity, raw materials entity, or software entity in existence. And when I talk about male entity, software entity, raw material entity, or seed entity, how do I mean? Using the illustration we have on our screen, there are always 5 entities, 5 elements, 5 forces at play at every point throughout our existence. And using our 5 fingers as illustration, starting from the thumb to the little finger, we have the entity of fatherhood, the entity of motherhood, the middle finger illustrated entity, which are this male gender, seed, raw material, or software entity. The 4th finger illustrated entity, which are the ground entity, and the little finger illustrated entity, which are the products, female or results entity. I hope we're still together, people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
I'm using this illustration to prove the validity of 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. We see that these main entities, seed, raw materials, or software entities, being in the middle, and as being illustrated by the middle finger, becomes the most important of these 5. That the most important of these 5, because being in the middle, you can access all the 5 of them by accessing it. It has the privilege and the design of carrying the 2 entities before it, 2 entities after it, two entities greater than it, two entities lower than it, depending on your situation. I hope we're still together.
Yes, sir.
How does this illustrate Second Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8? It proves it by letting us know that it's only the entities of fatherhood, motherhood, ground and result carried by the truth that will last. The entities of fatherhood, motherhood, ground and result carried by other male entities have a lifespan. They will end up in disappointment, failure, calamity, sorrow, or pain. The second proof, because we're encouraged that anything we're going to establish as truth must have two or three proofs or reasons. Looking at the definition of this middle finger illustrated entity on our screen, we will discover that these male gender seed raw material software entities are a beginner by nature. They're beginner by nature. What does that mean? That means that any of our personalities, relationship, situation, or things in existence are as a result of one male entity or the other. So how does this prove? 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8? It proves by letting us know that it's only the personality, situations, relationship, and things created, brought into existence by the truth that will last, that will fulfill its purpose. But any other personalities, relationship, situation, or thing brought about by other male entity other than the truth, such personalities, such relationship, situation, or thing will end up in failure, disappointment, calamity, pain, or tears. And the third but no lesser proof that 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 8 is absolutely correct. From this same illustration on our screen, we will see that the little finger illustrated entities which are the result we are having as a result of one male entity or the other. So what does this mean for 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8? It means that any and every result we're having, and we're going to have throughout our existence, it's only the results as a result of one truth or the other. And when you talk about truth, we're talking about life's laws, life's principles that is responsible for any of our personalities, relationships, situation, or things to function for its purpose of existence. So it's only results as a result of one truth or the other that will last. No matter how mega the result we're having and we're going to have in our existence, might be once it's not as a result of one truth or the other, no matter how mega they are, they will soon fail. So going back to where we were, people of God, before the second outage. And once again, I hope the centers are a good place. The network. I hope the brethren at the centers are good with their reception, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please always let us know that we are perfect with the receptions. So we are in the dissemination of the truth, please. So going back to where we were, and I hope we can all see what I'm sharing on the screens, please. And the brethren at the center see what I'm sharing at the screens, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I can see it. Thanks.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. It says, none of us, every one of us, and any of us can do nothing against the truth. For everything we've seen, said, or done, everything we're seeing, saying, or doing, everything we're going to see, say, or do, will always be for the truth. And because everything in existence has a reason why there's existence, this scripture too, for it to be absolutely correct, must have a reason why it is so. And the reason why none of us, any of us, as well as every one of us, can do nothing against the truth, for everything we've done, we're doing, and we're going to do throughout the exam will always be for the truth, is because truth is the most powerful male gender seed raw material software entities in existence. And when I mean, or how I mean, or when I mean male gender seed raw material software entities, what's that all about? Using the chart on our screen as illustration, at every point throughout our existence, there are always 5 entities, forces, elements at play throughout our existence. And using our 5 fingers as illustration, from the thumb to the little finger, we have the entities of fatherhood, motherhood, the main gender entity of interest, the ground entity, as well as the result entity. Of course, the main gender entity being the middle, as illustrated by the middle finger, has the responsibility and privilege of carrying the other 4 entities, thus making it the most important of these 5 entities. Because accessing it means you have access to the other 4. How does this prove 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8? It proves it by saying it's only the entities of fatherhood, motherhood, ground, and result that has truth as its male entity that will accomplish its purpose of existence. But all other entities of fatherhood, motherhood, ground, and result are subject to failure, disappointment, sorrow if it's a non-truth that is the corresponding male entity. The second proof that 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 8 is absolutely correct is looking at the definition of this male gender, state, raw material, or software entity. They are actually a beginner by nature. That means that every one of our personalities, relationship, situation, or thing in existence is as a result of one male entity or the other. This proves 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 8 by telling us that it's only people, relationships, situation, or things created or brought into existence, initiated or based on the truth that will last, that will accomplish their respective purpose. Any of us, any relationship, situation, or thing in existence that is as a result of one non-truth or the other, subject to failure, pain, calamity, or disappointment. And the third point, no lesser proof that 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 8 is absolutely correct, is the little finger illustrated entity, which are the results we're having, and will forever have throughout our existence. Which implies that no matter how mega the result we're having, and we're going to have throughout our existence, is only the result coming based on one truth or the other that will last. Every other result will end up failing in pain, in sorrow, and in calamity. I'm talking about results which are a result of one male entity or the other. At every point throughout our existence, every one of us, adult human, we are going to experience 8 types of 4 families of results. Every one of us, we are going to experience positive or negative gift, going from the least to the greatest of results in existence. Positive or negative bread, positive or negative seed, and ultimately positive or negative harvest. And when we ask or find out, how come all the results are not gifts? How come all the results are not bread? How come all the results are not seed? And how come all the results are not harvest? This is so because there is another male entity in existence. In fact, this other male entity, the way truth is the greatest, most powerful male entity, this male entity is the most important. It's the most important because none of us exist without it. And it's an interaction between these two male entities that determine each of these kinds of results at one time or the other. I hope we are still good people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
And this most important male entity that none of us can do without is actually our faith as adult human beings. And when I talk about faith, I'm not talking about a religious belief. I'm talking about anything and everything we all do, see, say, freely and willingly from our heart. That's actually what faith is. It's the interaction between our faith and the truth that determines this 8 kind of result. Our people of God, we got that now.
Yes, sir.
In fact, specifically, anything and everything that comes to us, they always come to us first as gift. What did I say? That anything and everything that comes to us, how do they come first? They all come as gifts.
As gift.
That is the proof that none of us can do anything against it. In fact, to be more specific, every one of us, it has nothing to do with whether you're a nice person or not, whether you're a smart person or a foolish person, whether you're free or bound. As long as you are in existence as an adult human being, every one of us is going to come in contact with 6 types of people, 6 types of relationships, 6 types of situations, 6 types of things. From the least to the best, which is the one that is God's will, God's proposed for every one of us. Every one of us, we're going to have negative people, negative relationship, negative situation, or things that we don't expect but we deserve come to us. Negative people, relationship, situation, or things we expect but we don't deserve come to us. They come to us just because we're in existence. Every one of us are going to have negative people, negative relationship, negative situation, or things we both don't expect and we don't deserve come to us. We are going to have positive people, positive relationship, positive situation, or positive things we expect but we don't deserve come to us. We are all going to have positive people, positive relationship, positive situation, or things we don't expect but we deserve come to us. And the only group that is of God, that God is responsible for. And God said he sends this group. That's what Christ meant when he said God sent rain on the just and on the unjust. It's this group. Every one of us, we're going to have positive people, positive relationship, positive situation, positive things that we expect and we deserve come to us. But listen to me, people of God. Because any of these 6 people, 6 relationships, 6 situations or things come to you, it doesn't mean you enjoy it. It doesn't mean you benefit from it. Because they're a gift. I'm not talking to somebody. Because somebody serves you food or drink, does that mean that you're going to eat the food or partake of the drink?
No, sir.
So these 6 group of people, 6 group of relations, 6 group of situations, 6 group of things, is like you being served various food or drink. They come as a gift. They become bread, and that's where your faith starts. Truth starts from this gift, but your faith starts from bread. When does any of this become bread? If they are in form of drink, you drinking. In form of food, you eating. Am I talking to somebody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And it takes your faith to eat and to drink. That is when any of this, and that is why, listen to the people of God, shun religion before it's too late. If not, religion will destroy you. Because religion tells you a lie that God is responsible for what you eat or drink. No, no, no. God is not even responsible for everybody that comes across you. God is not responsible for every relationship you find yourself today. God is not responsible for every situation you find yourself today. If that situation is not positive, If that situation or relationship or person is not positive, who you expect or what you expect and deserve simultaneously, God is not behind it. Am I talking to somebody?
Yes, sir.
But see, without your faith, it can never be yours. It can never be yours without your faith. It's your faith that makes it or makes them yours. It's your faith. It can never be yours. It's your faith that makes them yours. And when you eat or drink a liquid, eat a food or drink a liquid, does that mean because you ate and drank, it will digest?
No, sir.
No, sir.
The same faith that you need to eat or drink any of these 6 types of people, 6 types of religious types of situation or things, is that same faith you will need before they digest. When any of these 6 group of people, 6 group of relationships, 6 group of situations, 6 group of things digest in your life, that is when it becomes bread. Sorry, it becomes seed. Can somebody now separate between bread and seed now?
Yes,
That's why you see that seed is higher than bread. Because seed is what you digest. Now, who can tell me the basic reason why what you digest is greater than what you eat or drink? Did you understand the question, people of God?
Yes, sir.
So, who can explain the reason why? Why is it that what you digest is higher than what you eat or drink? Just like what you eat or drink is higher than what you are served. Yeah, I'm waiting. Quickly, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I think it's because what I digest is what is actually assimilated into my body.
That's
But what I don't digest is eliminated
it's
as
okay.
waste.
It's okay. That's still definition. Somebody will ask, what does assimilate mean? Simple. What you don't digest cannot be of benefit to you, or it cannot destroy you. Even if you eat food, of somebody you are following. If you eat food, you partake of drink,
Sir.
it doesn't mean if they don't digest, they won't benefit your body. Even if it's poisonous, if it doesn't digest, it can't kill you. That's why it's higher. Just like you plant a seed, okay? If the seed doesn't germinate, it can't grow to fruition. Even though you planted it. Can we all see the difference between seed and bread now?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is why it's a higher level of faith for something to become seed in your life than for something to be bread. Are you now beginning to see that we are the one responsible for results we are getting? Not God, not other people, not angels, not demons, and not nature. Because the best God, other people, angels or demons or nature can do for you is a gift. If you don't receive it by faith, you can't eat it, you can't drink it, no matter what it is. And with that same your faith, without you digesting it, your body assimilating it, there is no way it can be a blessing or a curse if it's a negative thing. Are you beginning to see the reason why I keep on telling people, when you understand this principle, you will never blame somebody else for the outcome in your life. They might be the source of it, but they are not the one that made it happen. You are the one that made it happen. You are the one. That's why as an adult, Apostle Paul repeated what Prophet Habakkuk says thousands of years before, that you and I will live, we die. We are blessed, we are destroyed by our own faith, not by God, not by people, not by angels, demons, or nature. It's by yourself. Have you not noticed that many of us, and you've heard it from other people, when something bad happens, people always say they had a premonition not to do this, not to do that. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's to illustrate to you how perfect life is, how good life is. God is a good God. Life is a good life. We are the one relative to our faith. We connect with the wrong, we turn our back on the right, or ignorant of the right. That's the three reasons why we're all destroyed. I repeat, either you are ignorant of the right thing you are supposed to see, say, or do, or you embrace the wrong thing that you are not supposed to see, say, or do, or you turn your back on the right thing you are supposed to see, say, or do. That is why we all have problems. So welcome back, please. Let's see how far we can go into the 2 minutes remaining. If you can see what I'm sharing on the screen, please do let me know. I hope you can see what I'm sharing on the screens, please.
Yes, sir.
So back to where we were. All the centers, are they good now, or some still can't see what I'm sharing?
Sir, you are showing.
Not yet, sir.
Let me read.
Yes, at my own end.
How about now? Is it showing now, please?
Not yet at my own end. Not yet, sir.
Not yet, sir.
It's not showing there too. I better cross back to Google, but oh yeah, it just started showing. That's a call that is on myself. That's the problem.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So please let me know if you are seeing what I'm sharing. Can you see what I'm sharing now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. On social media is up too. I'm good to go. Welcome back from wherever you are hearing this man. Sorry for the challenge, but let's see how we can do in the remaining time. So where we stop is where I was telling us as God's heritage that what happens to us is squarely our responsibility. It's inevitable that these 6 groups of people, situation, relationship, or things will come to us. But it's our choice as adult humans to receive them, which is to eat or drink them. Then further than that, to let them have effect in our lives. And ultimately, when we now make that to be what we give to people and life back itself, which is the level of harvest. I hope we all got that, people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And to illustrate this truth, we have some quotes of truth today, which I believe we all have copies of in our mailboxes as well as our devices. Because anytime we start this portion of the service, we always lay the foundation with this everlasting and evergreen quote, which are entitled Adults Almightiness Truth. Why is this important? Because without your understanding that once you are an adult, everything and anything that happens to you is your responsibility henceforth. You will keep on wasting your time, resources, and you might waste your life in this divide of existence. And I believe all of us can see this foundational quote on our screens, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this foundational quote says, once you realize the power of your tongue as an adult human being, you won't just utter anything without thinking about the consequences freely and willingly out of your mouth. Because what comes out of your mouth is either life or death, heaven or hell, good or bad, right or wrong. What will be a blessing or a curse to anybody that connects or hears such words. The next line of truth says, when you realize the power of your thoughts as an adult human being, you realize that it's your thought life that makes you the kind of person you are. Because the beginning of eating or drinking what comes to you is through your thoughts. What did I say thought is?
The beginning of eating or drinking what comes to me is through my thoughts.
The kind of people, the kind of relation, the kind of situation, the kind of things you connect with starts with your thoughts. That is where the reception starts. That is where you eating or drinking starts. And the thought level determines the highest group of results we all get. So once you have the power of your presence, you won't just be any or be in any form of relationship, because you realize that what you show to people, to relationship, to situation or things is what you are going to get back. In full measure, press down measure, shaking together measure, non-over measure. So let's proceed. The first one today, I call it adult superheroes truth. Of course, if you've been familiar with this ministry of the truth, you will know that of the 15 groups that we practical adults find ourselves, the best and most recommended is adult superheroes. That's what Christ is all about. That's why when you're a disciple of Christ, when you're a follower of Christ, when you become Christ yourself, the mark of it is that you become a superhero. And this is a truth concerning every and any superhero out there. It says, I prefer liberty with danger than peace with slavery. This is one of the things I tell you, sisters. Because you say you are at peace with the man you marry, doesn't mean it's of God. Doesn't mean you have a marriage. As long as he doesn't value you, as long as you don't have your freedom, as long as you are not an influence to him, he's the one influencing you. You don't have a husband. What you have is at a minimum a pastoral figure. But most of the time it's God figure you have. That's why you can't connect with truth. That's why you can't connect with a faithful minister. Because someone has already feel that. The same is what religion does to God's heritage. When the spiritual leaders, your pastor, take the place of God, you can't connect with the truth. You will be at peace, yet you are in bondage. You see yourself as a slave to another human, which is a red line. We will go and read 1 Corinthians 7:23. God told us through Apostle Paul that on no account, no matter the relationship, should you be a slave to another person. And I keep on encouraging and imploring you, get out now before it's too late. You'll be committing suicide in any relationship that you're a slave, that you don't have a voice, you don't have a freedom, you don't have a choice. Especially when you're a female entity. You're supposed to be people's friend figure, service provider figure, mentor figure, wife figure, pastoral figure. You have to be careful. Because you don't determine the nature of the relationship. But you have soft spot for the person, doesn't mean the person has faith in you. I hope this sets us free, people of God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it adult leadership truth. And I've told us before that every one of us, being a leader, is part of our purpose while we're here on earth as adults. To be blessed, but because we are blessed, we prove it by being a blessing to other people. That's why as an adult human, there's something that you bring to this world that every other adult humans have their need. Just like there are things they all bring that you too you need. And see, they say leadership is not about being the best. Leadership is about making everyone else better. That's part of our purpose. That's why you're a narcissist, you're a beast. You are Satan incarnate. When your joy is to trash, humiliate other people. Nobody else must be richer than you. Nobody else must enjoy marriage the way you are enjoying it. Enjoying their life the way you are enjoying freedom the way you are enjoying it. I hope we see godliness in another version now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it bad unfaithfulness truth. And this relates directly to that song of consecration that we always sing at any time we want to start the dispensing or dispensation of the truth. And I've told us, I'm saying the truth. No matter how rich you are, how successful or happy you are, everyone is ashamed of you if you take your last breath without fulfilling your purpose. God never said it to be easy. Satan doesn't want it to be easy. But it's a waste of time resources if you never study, no matter where it is. And this is what the great servant of God, blessed memory, says here. So what's the use of being famous on earth when heaven doesn't know your name? Exactly. You see your courtesy of your faith in the truth. And this faith you have, what you are holding on as number one today, is that same faith you need to hold on to what is your purpose as. That is why you have everything to lose when, because of one thing or the other, comfort, money, fame, reputation, because of that you say no to your purpose. These are all things that you stand to lose. But fulfill your purpose, you will gain much more. The next one, which still like this, I call it life's purpose is truth. And this is coming straight from the mouth of a proven faithful minister who is a fulfiller of his purpose himself. And the great servant of God says this truth to all of us. Say, purpose is the reason for your existence. Exactly. And all of us have a purpose. A life outside of your divine purpose is a life of emptiness and vanity. That's just the truth. And that is why the higher the purpose, the more the sacrifice, the more things you have to sacrifice. From the highest of an admin, followed by being a minister like me and going down. The higher your purpose, the more the sacrifice. It is what it is. Non-negotiable. It is when you fulfill your purpose, every other thing now becomes important. The next one, I call it adults change truth. And this says, a snake does not change his skin without first coming out of the old one. Very true. Change requires leaving behind old habits or situation. Very, very true. So go back to where we were before the latest power outage. On that quote about change. It's another area of life that many of us live in, what I call self-delusion. We want to be the best, we want the best, but we're not ready to change. It cannot work. That's why in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18, Apostle Paul says, everyone and any of us, to be the best that we're created to be, we must change, we must metamorphose from one level of glory to the other. And this change requires we must leave the wrong, the old. Sometimes it's not just situation, it might be relationship, it might be habits, it might be people. I hope this encourages us, people of God.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The next one, I call it life's persecution's truth. This is about the truth of negativity that will happen to us once we start doing the right thing. Some of us are under the delusion that because we are doing the right thing, opposition will not come. That is a lie. Christ said none of us that will live godly in this world will do so without persecution, without betrayal, without people stabbing up at the back. But the encouraging truth in this is that people that yield themselves to the enemy to be used to persecute or afflict you, they are already lower than you. That's why they are doing it. Even though they might be acting as if you need them, they are actually the one that need and envy you. And see this truth here. So whoever is trying to bring you down is already below you. Very true. That's why the scripture encourages us that rejoice anytime you are being persecuted, as long as what you are doing is the right thing. No matter how much people name call you and all that, just continue. They're going to end up being the winner at the end of the day. The next one talks about the truth, about one of the basic attributes of God. Remember, I've given us about the hand of God, hand of light, hand of eternal life, hand of God. And if you remember that study church, the hand that you say is actually your faith. Anytime you are not doing anything freely and willingly from your God is not in it. Then the thumb, which is the lowest of the expression, is now at work. You see a lot of people who believe they can prosper without hard work. It does not exist. That's why the scripture says God will bless the work of our hand. And that is what this one illustrates. He said, it is the work of your hand that God blesses. God does not bless empty hand. You say, I'm hardworking, but things are not. Go and check it. Maybe you are not doing it by faith. Maybe you are not doing that work freely and willingly. Or the next finger, which supersedes hard work, which is usage of your sound mind. You are not the user of your sound mind. There is no way you will not prosper. If you are hardworking and you are doing it freely and willingly, and you use your sound mind, there is no way. Goodness and mercy, blessing will come after you. I hope this blesses us about the integrity of hard work, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one, which is also closely related to the immediate past one, which talks about money. A lot of people in pursuit of money have sold their soul. A lot of people, they've lost their spirituality because of hunger. But you see, money in itself has a purpose. And this is the purpose of money. According to financial rewards too, they say money is a reward for labor or value that you offer. That is it. Whenever people expect money without a labor or service of value, then it becomes fraudulent. Just like when you don't reward people for services or labor. I hope I'm making some sense here.
Yes, sir.
You now
Yes,
see
sir.
the futility of what I keep on telling you, sisters, that what you call marriage has nothing like God. Because you'll be told that you're supposed to sell yourself to another soul freely and willingly. It doesn't exist. I've told you before, and I say it anywhere. Prostitution is not decent. Just like when a minister like me preaches for filthy lucre. That's the similarity with prostitution. But to say the solution to that is a woman should not be rewarded. A woman should not be taken care of. That's a crime. Just like a minister tells you the truth, takes care of you, you don't publish such a minister, you can't identify with such a minister, nobody knows that this is the minister that you're following, taking care of you. It's criminal. That's why the scripture says that once a minister has done his bit, you should communicate back in every good thing. And that's how you call it to be wrong too. You get a woman, you're calling her your wife, but she's at best as a free cook, free sex companion, free cleaner. That's wickedness. If you know you can't appreciate the woman, then don't go near her. Just like if you know you cannot publish a minister, you cannot appreciate him, you cannot support, then don't be beneficial of their grace, goodness, and mercy. So I hope this really helps all of us, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we have an example today of a superhero which every one of us and any of us can emulate and be like. And look at this example, which I call amazing superheroes example. And say a science teacher from rural part of the nation of Kenya, who gives most of his salary to support poorer pupils, has won $1 million prize for being the world's best teacher. Even if you didn't win, when you are like this, everyone already recognizes you. This is how it's supposed to be. I keep on telling you, what's the purpose of you having a resource and you are not a blessing to people? So people will try. Let them trash. They are the ones that become dark souls. Two wrongs should never make a right. I hope we are together, people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one, sorry, that's done. It's just our assignments. We have some assignments today, but we'll just quickly go through those assignments because of the little minutes and seconds we have left. Because the purpose of this assignment is for us to be gurus in every area of our lives and endeavors. And why we want to, and we try to do is that so that we become champions. When we see a situation, when we are hearing an instruction, we are going through an experience, we are able to know that whether it is worthy of our faith or not. And the first one today says people become loners because they got betrayed by every person they put their trust in. This is very misleading, and I will tell you why. First of all, what kind of person are you that you'll be having faith in everybody? Not everybody can be your friend. Not everybody can be your service provider. Not everybody can be your mentor. Not everybody can be your wife figure. Not everybody can be your pastor. I hope people of God, you understand where I'm coming from in this assignment.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there's already a flaw here. Then number two, the other side of the flaw of this is this can excuse people giving up on themselves. Realize when people affect you, it's your faith in them that affects you. It's not their wickedness. If you didn't have faith in them, they will even commit more wickedness and it will not affect you. I hope we got that, people of God.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because of so many misleading attributes of this, I'm giving this a bait. I hope we agree while I'm giving this a bait, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Let's move to the next one, please. But the same inquiry, the same focus. We want to find that is this truth, fact, courtesy, myth, foolishness, witchcraft, lies, or bait. I hope every one of us were on board with this assignment, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this says God's plan is always the best. That's true. But listen to the next one. It says sometimes the process is painful and hard. That's also true. Because of the word substance, it makes it a truth. If it says that all the time the process, that would have been a bit so. Also true. But listen to the next. He said, but don't forget that when God is silent, that is where the poison comes in. So when is God talking? This is one of the reasons why people go into all kinds of imagination in the name of God is talking to them. So what is the proof that God is silent? What is the proof that God is talking? I hope I'm reaching you, people of God. I hope I'm awakening a sound mind to analyze things. So can we see the flaw I'm already seeing in this?
Yes, sir.
So you see manipulation here already. Which one is, don't forget that God, when God is silent, is doing something good. If you want to encourage people, which is cautious, must you tell a lie? Must you come up with something you can't prove? Obviously, whoever is trying to encourage somebody, okay? But you don't tell a lie to encourage. You don't cook up something that doesn't exist, that you can't prove. So this sadly has become a bait. I hope you understand what is another bait, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, for the same focus. Is this truth? Is this part consummate foolishness, weakly lies, or bait? I hope we are good people of God with this space.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we see a courtesy, which is good money. We're encouraged to be cautious because it tells people you lead people better than you meet them when you are cautious. Because every human being deserves courtesy and respect. Okay? But you see in the background a word written in sand, the word success, which obviously is the main focus. And the word underneath is trying to determine or encourage you what will make you to succeed, okay? Let's say work hard, stay disciplined, and be patient. Your time will come. This would have passed for the truth if not for that statement, your time will come. So what about Hebrews 11:1, which says now faith is? What about 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2, which says that now is the day of salvation? Today is the accepted time. What about that? Okay, your time will come. When will it come? After hunger has finished you? After a beast has taken advantage of you and killed you? Is that when your time will come? I hope we can see why this has been downgraded to another bait, please.
Yes, sir.
Because when you are hardworking, when you are disciplined, when you are consistent, which is what patience is, of course, you will succeed. But when you add that error, your time will come. You are opening yourself to the assault of the enemy. People will take advantage. People will use your head. Satan will finish you. The next one, for the same inquiry. Are we good people of God?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And see this quote. He said, the sooner you figure out that other people's opinion of you are never your business, and it literally doesn't matter what they think of you, you become free, totally free. I'm hearing people are saying that's true. Let me put this to you. This is not the truth. This is a bait. And you know why I said it's a bait?
Why is that?
Because there are people the scriptures called untouchable. Maybe because of the name untouchable. The real word for these 5 groups of people are unlivable. Not live as living with, but unlivable people you dare not live. Once you meet them, you must stay connected. Even if they slap you, they will not. Don't go if you love your life. A guru, a queen, a faithful minister, a fulfiller of their purpose, a special adult. Those are the people that their opinions of you matter. Following this, you won't know when you will trash your relationship with a guru, as a friend, as a service provider, as a mentor. Trash your relationship with a wife figure who happens to be a queen, and as a faithful minister who is supposed to be your number one. I hope God's people, you can see where I'm coming from, where I'm going now with this statement. And you can see the reason why this is another quote. Sorry, another bit.
Yes, sir.
That's why if you read what Christ said, he said, any of us saved adult without a faithful minister, we're all going to go astray. Apostle Paul said, you cannot hear, you cannot connect. That's how it doesn't exist. That a faithful minister connects you to the truth. You can now reverse and say, okay, I can connect the truth without, doesn't exist. You can't get goodness and mercy as a man and over 4 generations of your seed without connecting with a wife figure who is a queen. It doesn't exist. So because of those influences that we're supposed to have, this has downgraded this. I know what the person is trying to say here is to build self-confidence, for you to have faith in yourself, okay? For you to know that you are unique. But I keep on saying, 2 wrongs don't make it. You don't manufacture a lie. You don't manufacture things that doesn't exist in order to cure. There's a statement here that you will not going to cut off your head because you're having an headache. Will you do that?
No.
Will you set your family house on fire because you have a disagreement with your parents or with your wife? Will you do that?
No, sir.
So you understand what I'm saying? Which is why I keep on telling you. There are people you can't say no to, and you are still saying they're those people. No matter the sacrifice. You can't trash a relationship with somebody and you say it's still your friend, service provider, mentor, wife figure, or your pastor. It doesn't exist. And it's this kind of bait.
Yes, sir.
And the final assignment today is what we are seeing on our screen. I hope all of us can see this assignment, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this statement says, to be happy, you must let go of what's gone. Be grateful for what remains. And look forward to what is coming next. Let me tell you this another bit. What if what is gone is what should never be gone? Shouldn't you go do everything to get it back?
I should.
What if what remains, the person, the relationship, the situation, the thing that remains is what should not remain in your life? Why should you be grateful for that? The only one, even that one too, when you are looking forward to what is coming, you should be the positive and right thing that is coming next. Not disaster that is coming next. Not negative things you don't deserve. You don't expect that is coming next. So when situations like this are open-ended, Satan can fill you with all kinds of negativity. So this is another bait. I hope you understand and appreciate why this is another bait, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At this point, I want to ask God's people, because of the power challenge we have, do we just touch some of the regular codes and link and go, or we should stop here? What do you suggest, God's people?
You should go ahead, sir.
You should go ahead.
You should go ahead, sir.
What I will do to strike a balance won't go more than the next 30 minutes. If we finish before that, which I'm trying to find, but if we don't, latest by 6 o'clock Nigerian time, we'll be done. Thank you for your patience, please. So let's move right away to the regular codes. As usual, what are the purposes of these regular codes? These regular codes, they serve the purpose of illustrating the truth we've gotten today, which essentially is the truth about the importance of your faith as an adult human being. Things you freely and willingly embrace, connect, make to be yours. That's what can have effect on you. Just like that illustration I'm using of food and drink. A food and drink you don't eat and drink cannot benefit your body, and it cannot also poison you. It will be dead on arrival. The same way, a person cannot affect you, a relationship cannot affect you, a situation cannot affect you, nothing can affect you without your faith. So if God is blessing you today, you made it possible. If Satan is destroying you today, you made it possible. And that's why I said problem comes to all of us, either out of ignorance or out of embracing the wrong or out of turning our back on the right. So are we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry,
Yes, sir.
ready to proceed rather.
Yes.
The first one today,
Yep.
I call it bad envy's truth. Bad envy's truth. I'm not sure, the brethren at the centers, can you still see me in real life? I know brethren in social media have seen it, but the brethren on Skype at the centers, can you still see me?
No, sir.
So just the brethren on Skype, just wait while we do the reconnection. Somebody is hijacking. Don't stop social media, please. I hope the brethren, the centers are all back and they can see what I'm sharing in real time, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome back, please. So, starting this session of the service with the illustrative quotes, which are truths that literally gives liquid over the meal of the truth we've eaten, so that it can be digested very well, like watering a seed planted. And the first today, I call it bad envy's truth. This is to let us know that, which is what that last assignment is trying to do. This is the truth version of it. That your success or authenticity is independent of somebody else's faith. That's why I keep on saying the best of a faithful minister might never have anybody following him or her as their pastor. The best of a woman that has ever existed might not have any man value her as his wife figure. I hope you are following. The best of a mentor might not have a single follower. This is what this is saying. And see the truth here. He said a person can have a whole bread and still be jealous of your slice. Very true. It's all on perception. That's why you must always make sure you do what is right. This is what that last assignment is trying to say, but it's just that that one use what doesn't exist a lie to be able to pass the message. But this is the message. And these people that jealous, they could be family. They could be people you have relationship with. But let me tell you, anybody that have this kind of impression about you or is envy about you, listen to me. Such a person doesn't see you as a friend. Such a person doesn't see you as a service provider. Such a person doesn't see you as a mentor. That person doesn't see you as a wife figure. And such a person doesn't see you as a pastoral figure. I hope sisters, you got that your own portion. Because most of those men you call husband, they are beasts. That's why they don't want you to work. They don't want you to have money. They don't want you to have property. Everything must be controlled by them. It is envy. There is no love to it. How can you be a man's wife figure? He bars you. He says you must not password your phone. If you're in that relationship, get out. You're a slave. You are not. He doesn't even see you as a human being, not a wife figure. Just like you can't tell your pastoral figure to not to password his or her phone. You can't tell your mentor figure that. So why should you not tell your wife figure that? When wife figure is higher than mentor and lower than pastoral. I hope you understand what we are coming for, sisters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it bad manipulations truth. This is still the same message like the last one, that you must be self-secured in yourself as an adult human being. Don't put your faith in people's faith in you. Realize that even if you are an identical twin, triplet, or quintuplet, or septuplet, the truth about it, once you are an adult, you are still from a state of origin, or you're on your own. And that's how angels see you, demons see you. That's how God sees you. And you should start seeing yourself that way. And see the truth here. He says some people want to stay idle, to have the soft hand in order to beg from those who crack stones with their hands. I'm not sure if you understand what that means. Some people will be playing sick, playing they can't do something, so that they can play on the emotions of people who are hardworking, who are doing everything to generate money. But they will only succeed when those ones are careless. They will only succeed when those ones are ignorant, naive. So I hope we are all encouraged with this truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it bad narcissist truth. Bad narcissist truth. Because I've told us, and you can check the meaning of that English word narcissist. Narcissist is an adult human being, which is what an average pastor has become, an average husband figure has become, who believe they own the other adult human being. Nobody owns an adult human being. The only human contact we all have, given for all from God, our parents. Even that one, God says, if your parents reject you, what did God say? Did he say go and beg them? He said you are good to go. Move on with your life. You will succeed. So all this, you cannot live your life because of a pastor or because of a husband. It's all narcissism. It's evil. There's no God in it. Even you, the sister, the wife, that's supposed to be an influence on the men that value you. You don't, your influence is not controlling them. So how much more the men that are claiming you are their wife figure? And this is another nature of those beasts, adult human beings who believe they own. It's okay to trash another human because you are their boss. You are their pastor. You are their politician. And it says, a narcissist wants the authority of a king while having the accountability of a toddler. That is it. That is it. In the name of dowry, you don't have freedom again. Solomon has told you that the minimum, which in our currency today is 1.6 trillion naira, $1 million, or 1.6 billion naira. That's the minimum of your word, sisters. And even aside that, it doesn't owe you. So what does it pay? You are the one that benefits. You are the one that is a blessing. Are you seeing? Are you beginning to wake up now? That's why I keep on telling you, sisters, as indecent, hear me very well, as indecent as being a commercial sex worker is, any of you sisters that you believe your husband owns you, a prostitute is more decent than you. Is more presentable than you. That's the truth. The colleagues of prostitution are ministers that minister for filthy lucre. They are in ministry because of people's pockets. That's why that is not decent. But your own case is worse because you don't have any freedom. Any relationship you're in, whether business, spiritual, natural relationship. That's why you see people who call themselves pastors. You and people, everybody is looking up to them. People can't talk to them unless they're on their knees. You see people, their domestics that can't talk to them. I see they're not human beings. They must be on their knees to talk to them. And you think you still carry the Holy Spirit. You don't. An average pastor, an average husband figure, an average employer, labor, they don't have the Spirit of God in them at all because of the way they trash people. They trash their wife, they trash gospel upon them. I hope this blesses us, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one, which is close to that, because this is still under character. I call this bad nastiness truth. And you can see this, self-explanatory. This other lady has a rope which you could have given to the lady that is in that ditch to climb up. But see what she's doing. That's what many people do many times. How social media is up, please. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's what many people do many times. But that's been nasty. Let your yes be yes, let your no be no. If you are not going to help people, don't give them the impression that you are helping. That's what it says. It says some people just act that they are trying to help you. But in the end, they are actually doing what? Making fun of you, ridiculing you. The next one, I call it hilarious self-respect truth. This is the message in that other assignment. But you see, it was not packaged well. That's why that became a bait. Because what Christ said, you should love every other person the way you first of all do what? Love yourself. Not lower than you love yourself and not higher than you love yourself. But when you love people higher than you love yourself, you become their slave. If you love them lower than you love them, then you become a beast or a narcissist. And this is it. He said, don't be too available, in quote, for people, because long time no see is better than this idiot has come again. This is very scriptural. Solomon said it. He said, refrain your feet from your neighbors. That's why you notice all the influences. Do you see neighbor figure as influence? Why you keep on going to the neighbor's place? Because you already see that neighbor either as friend or service provider or mentor or wife figure or pastoral figure. People that you can't say no to is one of those five. That's how you see them. That's why you can't see somebody as your friend, as your service provider, as your mentor, as your wife figure, as your pastoral figure, and you can walk away. It doesn't exist. So I hope this really blesses you, even though it's hilarious, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The next one, I call this faith ingratitude fact. And why I gave this a fact, that it does happen, but it's not the rule. Okay? Anything that does happen that is proven happen, but not the rule, is a fact, not the truth. And see this statement. It said, the people you sacrifice everything for will one day tell you they never force you to do anything for them. It does happen. It's happened to me, but it's not the rule. There are people who will appreciate you till their last breath. You'll never forget. And that is the truth. That's how we should all be. But this does happen. But why I'm bringing this up is, realize the way your own faith is dependent on you. People's faith are also dependent on them. Because you have faith in people does not mean they will have faith in you. I hope this blesses us. Be good, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one, I call it sad manipulations truth. This is like the immediate past one. And this also is about holiness, sanctification, you watching your back, especially when you are dealing with adult. Whether the adult is family or not, it doesn't matter. You are responsible for your life once you're a practical adult. And see, he said they will do you dirty, then play victim, then try to convince people it's you. There are people like that. That's what makes them beasts. That's what makes them nasty. But you are the one that you have to work on yourself to be able to recognize those people and preserve your sanity. I hope this really blesses us, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one that is still in the same line, I call it sad narcissist truth. Because another word for narcissist is a beast. People that believe that thrives on humiliation of another human being. And it says, a narcissist is someone who demands you give up everything in order to be nothing to them. Is that not what they have told you, sister, that marriage is? You give up your own. And they will give up nothing. That's why they will tell you to forget your mother and embrace his mother's. They are gone. And what is more shameful is mothers of you sisters who support that disaster. That you don't have pride in the fact that you have the girl child. That all you do with your life is to raise your girl child to be a slave. These narcissists, they will suffer it. That's why you see how pastors are checking out, how men, husband figure are checking out in their droves. Like Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 11:20, he said, for this reason, many are weakly, many are sickly, and many cross over untimely. It's happening with husband figure, with employer labors, and pastors in numbers worldwide. This is the reason. Because they are narcissists. But then they don't need to waste your time. They don't need to waste your resources and waste your life in wasting theirs. Walk away. Seek help. Do what God says, that come out and God will receive you. You'll be shocked how things will not around. How your finances will pick up. How your health will pick up. And you walk away from those toxic men, toxic pastors, toxic bosses, toxic friends, toxic family members, toxic neighbors. I hope we are blessed with these people of God, please.
Yes, sir.
The next one, which is also a fact, and like I told you, something is about when it's verified that it happened, but not the ideal, not what will always happen, not what should always happen, but it does happen. I call it sad negativity fact. And it says, unfortunately, being a good person has backfired on me in more times than I can count. It does happen. It definitely happened to this person, but that's not the truth. If this person had been more circumspect, it won't be that. That's why Christ encouraged that before you open up to people, before you are gentle as a dove to people, be what? Be wise as a serpent. Before you open up to people, there are people that the only offense you will commit is just because you have faith in them. That's all. That's how negative they are. And there's nothing you will do for them. It will be like you've not done anything. The next one, I call it sad parasites truth. All this is, if you see the sequence, is highlighting the difference but complemency of faith and truth. They complement, but they are totally different. Truth is what we cannot do anything again, because truth is about consequence. But faith is what makes everything happen. And this talks about some adult human beings out there. Those are the ones that Christ referred to as dogs or pigs. They are only interested in you because of their own hunger, their own need. Not that they have faith in you. And that's why the day they don't get whatever it is. Many men are like that. They don't love those women. It just because maybe the way the woman is, it boosts their ego. It makes them feel important. That somebody becomes a slave to them. That's what they're going after. The moment they can't get that, they trash you. Some women too are like that. They're only interested in a man's money. The day the money doesn't come, they will trash the man. He becomes a nobody. You have many people following pastors just because they have needs. But the day their needs are met, the pastor becomes a nobody. And this is the truth. I said parasite break away from you when life becomes tough for you. It's because they don't have faith in you at all. The next one, I call it sad self-righteousness is truth. This is what is taking place. This is actually why religion keeps on springing up every day. Simply put, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. That's what is happening here. And see what he says. He says it's crazy how no one in this world is perfect, yet everyone is so judgmental. That's why I keep on telling you that one singular reason why I don't believe any religion, including Christianity, is of God, is the concept of punishment. When people are sick in their body, you treat them. You take them to the hospital, you don't punish. So why should people have challenge in their emotions, in their spirit, in their will, in their intellect? And the next thing is you cut off their hand. The next thing is that you stone them to death. The next thing is that you start flogging them. You see, when you flog them, when you cut off their hand, they won't do it again. It has been proven that that doesn't work. In fact, that makes many of them to be more hardened. I hope this blesses us, please.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
The next one that talks about ungratefulness, which makes all of us to know that because you have faith in people doesn't mean they will have faith in you. I call this sad ungratefulness truth. And it says no matter how kind of generous you are, you will never satisfy an ungrateful person. That's not narcissism. That's just the truth. And these same people, if they do 1% to you, you think it's a 1 kilogram of something they did for you. It's just, this is not about those people, it's about you. So that you won't be putting your faith in this kind of people. If you do, you keep on suffering heartbreak. You'll be wasting your time with them, wasting your resources, and you can waste your life with them. The next one that talks about wars up and down all over the world. I call this sad warfare truth. And this is a proven truth that when war happens, no matter how mega, whether it's a world war, tribal war, or even marital war, is because somebody stopped thinking. That's why there's no way you'll be at variance with people when you use your sound mind. Because you will tell yourself, this war doesn't make sense. That's why in English, like this English thing that it's better to judge than to war. And it says all war is a symptom of man's failure as a thinking animal. Very true. And you see all wars, they will still sit down to settle. So why didn't they sit down to settle? Instead of destroying lives and properties. And the final illustrative quote today, I call it soul winning truth. Because people have made religion out of Christ, which shouldn't be. When it comes to soul winning, people have done all kinds of ridiculous things. Think they are looking, disturbing the atmosphere of your neighbor, doing something geographical. It's about your lifestyle. It's but what Christ said, let your lights what? So shine that men will see your good works and glorify God which is in heaven. And see, this is not by inviting people to come and worship at your church by force, but by inviting people to Christ, of course, by your lifestyle. Because people can hear and they can see the kind of person that you are. And to fulfill my promise, because we're in that time, we all have a link in our devices and mailboxes. And please study this link. It shows what it means to be a superhero. And I hope we can all see this link on our screens, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And see this link. It says a butcher shows kindness by leaving leftovers for stray dogs outside his shop every day. You say, why am I bringing this up? Listen to me, people of God. The law of faithfulness says, if you are not faithful in little, you cannot be faithful in much. One of the reasons why our society in Africa, in Nigeria, is still backward is because we don't treat animals with dignity. Let me tell you, if your society don't treat animals well, you can never treat human beings well. That's why we don't treat each other well in this part of the world. That's why most of us in this part of the world, we are either a beast or a slave. We are not human at all. You say, oh, but in the developed world, you have people too, and that's yes, but it's not a rule. It's an exception. Because it's a society, they treat animals with respect. You know what I tell people? Because you have people maybe who support me as pastor and don't follow me, doesn't mean you can follow me without supporting me. Because you have men that spend money on a woman they don't value, doesn't mean you can value a woman without spending your time and resources on her. You will. So I hope all we have gone through today has encouraged us, please.
Yes, sir.
And maybe on behalf of the power company, electricity company, and on behalf of the backup power, apologies for all the shutdown, but I want to believe that we'll be able to get one or two things today. Like I always say, please don't take my word for it. Not that I'm not telling you the truth, but so that you can culture that mindset of proving things, whether they make sense or not, before you latch on to it. I can tell you, once you latch on to this truth and do the needful against all of, no matter even if your life is at stake, it's something you will not regret. So stay blessed, people of God. And I believe that Wednesday will be much, much better with all the I's being dotted and the T crossed, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Nice week to everybody.